Hi guys, and welcome to this week's QR Code Series episode. So we had a request in a while ago, guys, for a Butterfree featured kind of team. I totally forgot about this and got reminded of it earlier this week. So here we are, that request is here, and I found a really cool team from a USA player going under the username D, and he's kindly put this team up on the QR code, the Global Link Battle Spot website for us to use. As always, the QR code will be down in the description below. Just to quickly go over the team though, for you guys at home, we are running that Butterfree that we were talking about. So this is going to be the centerpiece. This is the reason why we're using this team, the Butterfree here, which has Sleep Powder, Protect, Bug Buzz and Rage Powder with the Focus Sash and the Compound Eyes to just boost the accuracy of that Sleep Powder. We've got Tapu Bulu, which is really going to benefit from the tailwind from the Butterfree with Woodhammer, Protect, Sword Stance and Horn Leech with the Gracium Z. We've got Drampa, another really cool pick here with the let me pull it up, I can't see it so well on my screen here, but there we go. So we've got Flamethrower, Hyper Voice, Draco Meteor and Protect. It has got the Berserk ability and it has a Citrus Berry. We've got another very interesting choice of Pokemon here in that Caracosta, which is the Water Rock Pokemon, Solid Rock ability, so it's going to take 25% less damage. I think that's what it does. I should know because Rhyperior runs it and we run that in our NBL team. From super effective hits, it's got Aqua Jet, Protect, Rock Slide and Waterfall with a Life Orb, so it's going to be hitting like a truck if we can get it set up in a Trick Room, which we've got from Porygon 2. Standard Porygon 2 with the Eviolite, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Trick Room Recover, and we make up the squad of Pokemon with Celesteela, with Flamethrower, Leech Seed, Protect and Heavy Slam with that Leftovers item. So a really cool combination of Pokemon here. And I'm really looking forward to playing it. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So we're just going to pull up the team. I've already got the QR code input into my DS, and we'll jump straight onto the Battle Spot ladder and we'll try and find an opponent pretty quickly. There we go. Excellent. So what music are we going to go for today, guys? Let's go for Gladian Game 1 and jump straight into it with our first opponent of the day, Miguel from Spain, and they are running a team of Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Kartana, Garchomp, Arcanine and Manabuzz. So QR code team versus QR code team, clash of the QR code teams here. So what we're going to do here, Tapu Bulu is really good because it's going to cancel out the terrains from the Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele if my opponent decides to lead it. We do need to be careful for that Kartana though, because we are going to be boosting the Kartana's grass type attacks with that grassy terrain. Primary, there we go, I can get my words out. Primary speed control is going to be from that Mandibuzz. It's probably got a Psychic Seed to boost its special defense as well. Garchomp Arcanine standard, very good with Tapu Koko, so we do need to be careful with that. But I think probably our Trick Room mode is going to be the best kind of way to go here. So I'm really tempted to go with Porygon 2. Let's think. Arcanine probably may come out, or the Mandibuzz, but we could go for Butterfree here. I think I do like the idea of Butterfree. And in Trick Room, what do we want? Drampa, Caracosta, we definitely want Tapu Bulu, and I'm actually going to bring Celesteela because it gives us a lot of assurances against things like Tapu Lele, Garchomp particularly, and it gives us that Flamethrower that we can launch at the Kartana. So we'll go with that in our last slot. And also it's just a nice pivot to have to kind of switch in on big attacks. It can tank a lot of big threatening attacks like Tectonic Rages, Psychics, Shattered Psyches, etc. So it should be quite handy here. We're going to lead off with the Butterfree and the Porygon 2, and we'll see my opponent lead off with the Tapu Lele and the Mandibuzz. So what can we expect? We can expect maybe a taunt to come out from either Pokemon. More likely the taunts on that Mandibuzz though, I would expect. So we could go for a Sleep Powder into that slot. We will be outspeeding it with our Butterfree, and we could just go for a Trick Room with our Porygon 2. Hello. Yeah, I think that's what I will go for. I think I'll go for the Trick Room, and I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder into the Mandibuzz here. We'll see speed tiers as well from that Tapu Lele. So there's the taunt from the Tapu Lele. It is into the Butterfree, so we're not going to be able to sleep out of this turn. And we see a Snarl come out from the Mandibuzz. Okay. Will our special attack both Pokemon. It does mean that Butterfree's sash is broken, but we do get the Trick Room up, which is nice. So this next turn, I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt into, should I go Thunderbolt or Ice Beam? Probably Ice Beam is the better choice into the Mandibuzz, and we do know we're outspeeding a Tapu Lele, but I think I'm just going to preserve it for later on in the game and bring in the Celesteela here. We can get Leech Seeds off onto, well, we're going to threaten the Tapu Lele with a Heavy Slam, hopefully force that out. But if we can get a Leech Seed onto the Mandibuzz, that'll help us going forward in the match as well. So we do see a Protect from the Tapu Lele here. And what we're going to see this Mandibuzz go for. What if it'll just go for another Snarl? We do get the Ice Beam. And I went for the Ice Beam there over the Thunderbolt because of just the chance that we could pick up maybe a Freeze there, which would be nice. So, expecting maybe a Shattered Psyche to come out here. I'm just going to recover my Porygon 2 and I'm going to go for a Leech Seed into... To be honest though, there's not much chance of the Tapu Lele staying here because of the threat of Heavy Slam. It's probably going to switch out. So this could give me a good chance to switch in my Tapu Bulu in this slot, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to switch in Tapu Bulu. Actually, no, I'm not, because we could see the Arcanine come in here. I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt into that slot. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to go for a cover and a Leech Seed. I need to make sure I lock it in. Leech Seed. Hopefully we got it locked in. Faffing round. So there's the Tapu Lele going out. Tapu Koko coming in though. So my opponent might not have brought the Arcanine, which would be a bit strange because it has got a good matchup here. We haven't really got too much to hit it with. We kind of need to rely on our Porygon 2. We do get the recover off. And we are going to get a Leech Seed, hopefully, into the Mandibuzz. We do hit, which is nice. And we see just a Snarl come out from this Mandibuzz. So our Celesteela is heavily threatened here from that Tapu Koko. So I think this is where I'm going to bring in my Tapu Bulu here. And I'm just going to go for... I could pull a double switch, to be honest. Just to reset the Snarls on my Porygon 2. I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam onto the Tapu Koko. I'll bring in Tapu Bulu here for Celesteela. If we do tick any attacks with Tapu Bulu, at least we know we've got the Leech Seed on the Mandibuzz to heal us back up, as well as the grassy terrain as well. So we did get the Ice Beam off. Do a little bit of damage. See a Roost come out from that Mandibuzz, which I don't mind at all. And hopefully an electric type attack into the Tapu Bulu here. Yeah, there's the Thunderbolt. And we'll see if it's Life Orb or not. Does a lot of damage. No Life Orb though. So we do all take a little bit of health back from the grassy terrain. And we'll get a bit more health back through that Leech Seed on that Mandibuzz that we landed earlier. So, I could potentially go for a Sword Stance here. Could just go for yeah, I'm just gonna go for an Ice Beam, and I think I'm gonna go for, I could go for a Bloom Doom. That might not be a bad move, to be honest, because anything coming in on that Tapu Koko slot, like the Tapu Lele, will take an absolute chunk of damage. So hopefully it is the Tapu Lele coming in here. It is the Cortana. It's a bit unfortunate. It is going to be able to take this Bloom Doom very well. We should still do a decent amount to it though. Go for an Ice Beam and get the freeze on the Mandibuzz. So just continue going for those Ice Beams does finally pay off. Get the Bloom Doom here. with that Tapu Bulu. And we know my opponent hasn't brought that Arcanine now. So once we get rid of the Tapu Koko, Celesteela is going to have a field day. So that's our win con, really. Let's see how much damage this does. Probably not too much. It is resisted. But wow. It's not bad. It's not bad damage. Mandibus throws out straight away. Goes for a foul play into the Tapu Bulu. Doing respectable damage. We will get a little bit of health back as well as everything else on the ground here. I think, is this the last turn of Trick Room here? Yeah. So I think what I'll do is switch in my Celesteela for my Porygon 2. And I'm just going to protect my Tapu Bulu here. I kind of expect maybe a Bloom Doom from the Kartana into my Porygon 2 slot. And I don't want to lose Porygon 2 too early in this match. It's going to be important for helping us set up that Trick Room late game if we need it. So we just see a Smart Strike into the Tapu Bulu and foul play, doubling into it. Okay, that's fine. Because we do threaten KO onto the Kartana this next turn with a Flamethrower from the Celesteela, but my opponent has to know that, so we can probably expect a switch out on that slot. And expecting that, I think what I'm going to do is go for a Heavy Slam and not a Flamethrower, expecting the Kartana to switch out here, and I'm going to bring Porygon 2 back in place of my Tapu Bulu. So we don't see the Kartana switch, so we could have just went for that Flamethrower here, which is a bit unfortunate. Get the download boost, which is our attack, and we just see another Smart Strike come out from the Kartana. Okay, and Roost. But this might throw my opponent off the scent that we have Flamethrower, so we can go for the Flamethrower next turn and just go for a Trick Room as well. And we haven't seen Taunt from that Mandibuzz, have we? We've only seen Taunt on the Tapu Lele. So we do recover a little bit of damage. These animations take so long. So we'll go for a Flamethrower into the Kartana, and we'll just go for a Trick Room with Porygon 2. We may just see a Snarl come out from the Mandibuzz to try and just weaken. And now my opponent switches into the Tapu Koko. But we will get some Flamethrower damage onto it, so it's not the end of the world. And we will set the Trick Room up. So we do see a Snarl come out, as expected. See how much damage this does. I don't think it's going to do too much, but I might put it in range for a Heavy Slam and maybe an Ice Beam the next turn to pick up the KO. Is it worth the risk? Because we're going to need the Celesteela more than anything. I think it's not worth risking it, to be honest. We don't need to worry too much about this Mandibuzz. I know it is firing off Snarls constantly, but I think what I'm going to do is just switch in Tapu Bulu here and go for an Ice Beam with my Porygon 2 into that Tapu Koko slot. Just to preserve it. Like I say, Celesteela is like the most important thing in this match, really, for the end game. Once we get rid of the Tapu Koko, then, like I say, Celesteela has a field day against the rest of this team. So we do get the Ice Beam off, do good damage, get a freeze again. So really unfortunate for my opponent. I don't expect the Tapu Koko to thaw out straight away. Do see a Snarl come out from my Bulu. And Tapu Koko frozen solid. So this next turn I'm just going to double into it, because if we get the Kartana in, I'm just going to double in with the Ice Beam and a Horn Leech here. So if the Kartana comes in, at least we're going to get an Ice Beam off onto it. It should do alright damage. We've taken 2 snarls, so we're not as powerful as we were when we originally came in. But it kind of just helps cover that switch in if my opponent does go for it. He probably will just let the Tapu Koko go down here though, I'd imagine. So we will just go for that play. Ice Beam, no switches from my opponent. He is just going to let the Tapu Koko go down. And we'll get a Horn Leech, which should finish it off. And we just see the Mandibuzz roost here. And then imagine the Kartana to come in. Right. But it is the Tapu Lele. Okay. So we do see the Cyclic Terrain get set up. I want to get Porygon 2 out just to reset the Snarl drops that we've taken. I think I'm just gonna go for a Wood Hammer into the Tapu Lele. Am I? Feels a bit wasteful. But it's so threatening, and I could just easily switch in the Celesteela in this slot. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just go for a Wood Hammer into the Tapu Lele, and I'm going to switch out my Porygon 2 into my Celesteela here. So when we bring in the Porygon 2 later on, at least we've reset those Snarl drops. We'll get a Wood Hammer. We should do good damage to the Tapu Lele. Get really, really lucky there with a critical hit, which is super unfortunate for my opponent. And we see a foul play come out from that Mandibuzz onto the Tapu Bulu. But my opponent probably doubling into the Tapu Bulu there. We definitely we definitely wouldn't have picked up the KO. We're not on grassy terrain, so that Tapu Lele would have survived the Wood Hammer, I'd expect. My opponent down to his last 2 Pokemon, being the Kartana and the Mandibuzz. So getting a lot of luck on our side this first game. Here what I'm going to do is just switch out Tapu Bulu into Porygon 2 and just go for a Flamethrower into that Kartana slot. Get the downward boost, but it's just into attack, and Trick Room, my opponent doesn't protect the Kartana. We get the Flamethrower off and pick up the KO, so we're just left with that Mandibuzz now. We'll see what it goes for. We do get a Beast Boost, and it is going to be in attack, so that is going to help us out leaps and bounds, trying to chip down this Mandibuzz. And I think that was the last turn of Trick Room. I think, yeah. So there's the Trick Room ended. So we'll just go for another Trick Room with our Porygon 2, just to make sure that we're hitting first, and I'll just go for a Heavy Slam into the Mandibuzz, get some good damage onto it after that Beast Boost. We just see a Snarl. Porygon 2 avoids, which is really good for us. But we've still got 4 Pokemon against his 1, so I think we're going to be alright. Get the Heavy Slam off, huge damage, and get the Trick Room up, and yeah, we'll be able to lock this game up going into the next turn. So, a few really unfortunate things for my opponent there. Obviously the freeze on the Tapu Koko, I don't think that mattered as much, to be honest. For the board position we had at the time, isn't helpful at any point in any game to get frozen. But the big turning point there was the Wood Hammer critical hit on the Tapu Lele, which was super unfortunate for my opponent. So we'll get this Ice Beam off. I don't expect it to pick up the KO, but it does, and Porygon 2 wins out for us. So we take our first game, which is super nice. And I really enjoyed it. I think this is the first Tapu Bulu team that I've played all season that I've really enjoyed playing. Just the combination of Celesteela and Porygon 2 that give it nice options to switch around, kind of covers itself really well. But the thing is, if my opponent had brought the Arcanine to that game, it would have been a completely different game. And I don't know why my opponent didn't bring it. Maybe the Caracosta kind of put it off too much. I don't know. Yeah, I think the Arcanine would have been a really good choice there for my opponent, obviously having the Arcanine. I think my opponent probably felt like the Tapu Koko was enough to deal with the Celesteela if I did bring it. But the Arcanine would have been a huge threat to things like Tapu Bulu and the Celesteela, and the Butterfree as well. We didn't have a lot to hit. We kind of would have had to maneuver an end game where we had the Arcanine versus the Porygon 2, and hopefully kind of just outstalled it with our recovers and just chipped it down every turn as much as we could. So I think we got away a little bit lucky there. Obviously we got some big rolls with the critical hit Woodhammer at one point, which was huge, but you do take those sometimes, because sometimes the luck doesn't go for you, so you have to deal with it in that situation, and when it goes for you, just deal with it in the same kind of way and you take it. But you keep your respect for your opponent at all times. That's always a good little thing to take from my experience anyway. There's a lot of times in my playing career where I haven't been as graceful as I would have liked to, but that's experience for you, and you've got to kind of just keep your emotions in check sometimes, and it is hard to do. But as I say that, we have our next opponent from Spain, and they are playing a team of Pheromosa, Garchomp, Celesteela, Arcanine, Tapu Koko and Drifblim. So really interesting core of Pokemon here. You don't generally see the Drifblim with anything other than Tapu Fini, or more popularly with the Tapu Lele. So it's interesting to see here with Tapu Koko. I wonder if it has got that electric seed to still take advantage of that unburden boost, but it would be if it has got getting a defensive boost rather than a special defensive boost. Again, Trick Room here is going to be very good, and I am going to lead off with my Porygon 2 and Butterfree, just in case that Pheromosa decides to come out as a lead. I think we do need to be a bit more aware that the Arcanine could play a big role in this game, so I am going to bring that Caracosta, and I think I'm going to bring... we don't have much for Celesteela really, other than Porygon 2, and it does threaten things like Tapu Bulu pretty hard. What's the Drampa got? Flamethrower, Hyper Voice, Draco Meteor. Celesteela's good again here, but I think Tapu Bulu's good as well. Let's go with Tapu Bulu and lock in, because worst case scenario, we can put that Celesteela to sleep. It's not grounded, so it won't be affected by the electric terrain. And the reason I'm leading Butterfree off here is in case we see the Pheromosa lead on my opponent's end of the field, at least we'll be able to Rage Powder away any potential high jump kicks that would be coming our way. But no Pheromosa, just a Drifblim and a Tapu Koko. So not the worst lead for us at all. Do see an Electric Seed, so boosting that Drifblim's defense. Our download ability activates and we get a special attack boost, so that's really nice. Do I want to go for here? I could Sleep Powder the Drifblim. I can't Sleep Powder the Tapu Koko. But I could Trick Room. It's pretty obvious though. But I think I might just go for the Trick Room while I can. We might see a taunt come out from that Tapu Koko. And just to kind of guarantee, I think the most useful thing here I could do is probably Rage Powder or Taunt away from my Porygon 2, so I can guarantee the Trick Room up. So we will just Rage Powder. And we see Tailwind from the Drifblim, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a Taunt from the Tapu Koko here. And we just see a Volt Switch, so that's going to be fine. It does take us down to our Sash. What we're going to see come in. And it is the Celesteela. Okay. I'm going to Trick Room off. So I think this turn what I'll do is go for a Thunderbolt into Celesteela, and I'll go for a Sleep Powder into the Drifblim. I think the Celesteela here is more likely to protect. Although, I could just go for Sleep Powder into the Celesteela. Stop it getting Elite Seed off. But the protect from it is pretty obvious. And we know the Drifblim probably isn't likely to protect. Here's the call. What do I do? I'm going to Sleep Powder the Celesteela. I'm going to Sleep Powder that. So we see the Drifblim withdraw. Tapu Koko come back in. So we've made the right call. We might see a Protector from this Celesteela. No Protect coming out. We do get a Thunderbolt off. Doing huge damage. Not even a critical hit, but because of the electric terrain and the special attack boost that we got. But unfortunately, because we paralyzed it, which isn't going to go in our favour, to be honest, we couldn't put it to sleep. So I will just Thunderbolt it, and that should pick up the KO. And I think I'll go for a let's see. I'm going to go for a Rage Powder, just in case we see a Leech Seed come out from that Celesteela. Tapu Koko protects. We do get the Rage Powder off. So if we do see a Leech Seed come out, it'll be pulled onto that Butterfree. But we still underspeed the Celesteela. So Butterfree, able to live another day. So it'd be nice to see this Drifblim come back in now. That'd be great, actually. Because we can just put it straight to sleep. But it is the Arcanine. Now we do need to be careful here with the extreme speed from the Arcanine. It likely does have it, and we can't put it to sleep because it's obviously grounded. But we can pull attacks away and get some good damage off. I think I'm just going to go for a... No, I need to concentrate down on this Arcanine really, so I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt onto that. And I'm going to Rage Powder as well. We may just see an extreme speed come out from this Arcanine. And there's the extreme speed. Okay. So I don't mind too much, to be honest. We are going to take a big electric type attack from Tapu Koko here. But we also get a big chunk of damage off onto this Arcanine. We're going to see his Z move. So this is going to be Gigavolt Havoc into our Porygon 2. Hopefully we've got enough to be able to take this. I think we should be able to. Porygon 2 is like a monster defensively. Although this is under electric terrain, so... we'll see. It's going to do a chunk of damage, whatever. But Porygon 2 showing why it's such a good Pokemon in this format. It does survive. Now we could bring in Caracosta or Tapu Bulu. I think I'm going to bring in Tapu Bulu here. And I'm going to go for a Bloom Doom into that Arcanine slot. And a recover with my Porygon 2. Do I even need to go for the Bloom Doom into that slot? Because I think we'll probably be able to pick it up with just a Wood Hammer, to be honest. I'm not intimidated. I think a Wood Hammer is going to be enough. I'm just going to go for the Wood Hammer into it, not waste the Z-move here. I think the Wood Hammer will be enough to pick up the KO. But we just see the Arcanine protect here. Right. Tapu Koko protect. Which I don't mind at all. Porygon 2. It's going to get that recover off. Get the Wood Hammer. And... I think the next turn what we can do is just go for a T-Bolt with Porygon 2. That should be enough to pick up... maybe not now. I don't know. Dimensions turn back to normal. So we can just go for a Trick Room, to be honest, here. And just protect Tapu Bulu. And that's what we'll do. We might see my opponent just double into the Porygon 2. The Arcanine might have Raw as well. That's something you've got to consider. We didn't see the taunt from it earlier, the Tapu Koko earlier on in the game, so kind of feel safe setting up in front of that. Do see a Volt Switch though. So we'll see the Drifblim come back onto the field. but we are going to get Trick Room up, which is the main thing. So, I imagine the Arcanine probably protecting here. It's getting further and further away out of this KO range from this Thunderbolt. I think I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam into the Drifblim, and I'm going to go for the Bloom Doom now into the Arcanine. We might see a Protect come out, but yeah, there we go. But at least we'll get some damage onto it. I'm probably going to see a Will-O-Wisp from this Drifblim. But in all honesty, I think that Porygon 2 is going to be able to clean this game up by itself anyway, because of that. You see how strong that special attack boost was at the very start of the game. See how much damage it did to something like Celesteela as well. Huge damage. So you've got to have something to kind of check the Porygon 2, and that's why I brought the Butterfree that first game, to make sure if we did see the Pheromosa, which really threatened it, we have a way around it. Oh my god, that does so much damage. Oh, it's a critical hit, so through the Protect. So we get a little bit lucky there. Pick up the KO through the Protect. We see that Will-O-Wisp as we expected it onto the Tapu Bulu. We are going to see Tapu Koko come back in now. Really unfortunate for my opponent losing the Arcanine like that. But like I say, I think like the next turn, with just the damage that we do there from the Wood Hammer through the Protect in the grassy terrain, we'll be able to pick up the KO with a Thunderbolt from our Porygon 2. And we should have enough to even pick up the KO onto the Drifblim that next turn with whatever we throw at it with Tapu Bulu. So I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam into the Drifblim. We know it can't Protect. I'm just going to go for a Swords Dance with the Tapu Bulu. Reset that burn damage. And then we can start going for a Horn Leech the next turn. Yeah, so there's a Protect from the Tapu Koko. Get the Ice Beam off and make this a 1 versus... What have we got left? We got all 4 Pokemon left. No, we lost the Butterfree, didn't we, I think. So we get the Swords Dance off. And we're still in Trick Room, so we're going to be able to just fire off. I'm going to fire off a Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to finish it off with hopefully a Horn Leech. And my opponent just forfeits. So very good game to my opponent. A little bit unfortunate with that Arcanine, but I think that was the only thing on our side of the field that didn't really affect the outcome, I don't think. I'm surprised we didn't see the Pheromosa there because of the hard Trick Room mod that we had there with the Porygon 2 and the Drampa. It made a lot more sense for my opponent to bring something like that really threatens it, but I guess you kind of feel secure in a way knowing that you've probably got the Celesteela that can Leech Seed stuff if a Trick Room does get set up, and tank attacks a lot better than something like Pheromosa in that sort of situation. But regardless of that, good games, and it's been a lot of fun. D, the US player who put this team up kindly on the Global Link website, the QR code, did say the team was a lot of fun in the description, and he wasn't lying. So guys, I will, as I said earlier in the episode, I will put the link for this team down in the description below, so do go and check that out. It is a lot of fun to play. It's got that Butterfree in, and it's got the Tapu Bulu in. The Porygon 2 is really good, as we know it is. Drampa we didn't get to feature too much, but I had a lot of fun, and I really hope, at the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have enjoyed the episode, guys, please leave a like on the video. It's always massively appreciated. It does help the channel out a lot. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe so you stay up to date with all the daily upload content that we have. We have the School of Hard Knocks, which is our VGC style episodes. We've got our Battle Spot doubles on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We've got a QR code every Wednesday, and then we have our NBL stuff on a weekend as well. And just to make sure that you guys didn't miss anything in the School of Hard Knocks episode earlier on today, the NBL is taking a break this week, so we won't have an episode this Friday or Saturday. It will be carried on into next week. So Team Leaky, myself and my teammate Hibiki will be playing Team Jamie the following week, so do stay tuned for that. I will keep you updated on the channel with everything that's moving around, and I keep trying to mention throughout these episodes that we had some suggestions for what we do in downtime when the VGC season kind of comes to an end and before next season really kicks off again. And you guys did suggest, and everyone seemed to like the idea of having a subscriber kind of challenge me to battles kind of series throughout the summer, and I'm totally down for that. I'm like really down for that, and I was thinking of ideas and things like that, what we could call it, and we could call it like the subs challenge. That sounds kind of cool. So I'm gonna try and set something up where we have it, and I don't want to do it where you guys just randomly pick out a hat. I want to set it up in a sort of challenge where we can set some sort of tournament up while we do it, because that'll be a lot of fun, right? And we'll have some sort of prize at the end of it. I don't know if I have to take part, obviously, but I can't take the prize. One of you guys has to take the prize. So we'll do that. But we'll talk about that nearer the time. We've still got like a month or so before, a couple of months before the VGC season kind of peters off, but we might start looking at that a bit sooner than later. But do stay tuned for it, whatever, guys. Anyway, we'll wrap things up there, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of our Battle Spot Double Series. We'll be back on Friday again with School of Hard Knocks, and we'll have Terence Dre, our guest, on Friday to play his team with us on Friday's episode. So do stay tuned for that. And that's it, guys. So whatever you're doing, have a great night, take care of yourselves, and until tomorrow for our Battle Spot Doubles episode, I will see you later. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye!